got two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me. And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. If you feel it, chase it. If you feel it, chase it. That's right, folks. This is Medium Popcorn. We're here to talk about movie news and trailer reactions. Got a bunch of stuff that is on the docket. One story that we didn't even get to last time, Justin, because we just were talking about so much news. Unfortunately, it's not the most positive and happiest news, but Shelley Duvall, acclaimed actress from Stanley Kubrick's, of course, The Shining movie, as well as Popeye and other films, has passed away.
Yep. Happy trails. Happy trails.
Happy trails indeed. She was man, she went through a lot. She went through a lot making some of these movies, man. But she was one of the first actresses, I think, to kind of openly talk about that stuff, kind of talk about abuse on set and things like that. She died at the age of 75, so she had a long life, and she's had some memorable roles. So rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
my lady. We also lost another impactful actor. Bob Newhart died. The dean of the deadpan delivery died at the age of 94. Obviously, he had quite a few successful shows, and most recently, I think, appeared on The Big Bang Theory. He was great on that. Bob Newhart show, of course.
I think he played like he kind of hosted like a Mr. Rogers type show or something like something like that. Yeah.
Yep. So that's a comedy great that's no longer with us, but lived a really long, fruitful life at 94. We can only hope to be that old.
Not me.
What?
I want to be 90.
You don't want to be 94?
No.
Man, I would love to be 94. I'd be like sitting on the porch drinking lemonade all day and just thinking about my, the life I've lived.
Because if I'm 94, then what? My kids would, 35 years younger than me, are hitting their
almost 60.
60s. God forbid, one of them has a heart attack or something. I don't want to be around to see my kids go.
Yeah, I mean that took a dark turn because I've seen my great grandmother. She lost 2 of her kids.
Yeah,
and I've seen what that does to you. I mean, when she lost my nana, she showed up at it wasn't really a wake, but we had a little thing for my nana down in Florida. She showed up looking like John Hammond from Jurassic Park. She fully lost her mind. So
I remember when my died, his mother was at my grandmother was at the funeral. She's like, Ralph ain't dead. He's right there. It's like, oh God.
Oh no. He had like a My Girl situation.
No, because
it was like he's just gotta put on his glasses. That movie fucked me up. There's a reason why it's never been on the movie. Like we've never done it. My Girl fucked me up.
Yeah, that's a sad film.
And it was Macaulay Culkin too. You gonna fucking kill Macaulay Culkin with some bees?
So my half brother kind of looks like a very short version of my father.
I thought you were about to say Macaulay Culkin. I was like, whoa.
What?
What kind of genes are going on in the Justin Brown family?
So she was talking about him. He's like, Ralph ain't dead. He's right there. And like, it's in the middle of like, there's been eulogy said. Like, actually, I think at that point I was actually speaking and I go, Grandma, say to everybody. Like everybody started laughing because it was hilarious. Because when she said it, it was just like everyone just stopped and looked and said, Grandma, say to everybody. Everyone just starts laughing. It was like, whatever, and we just continued on. She was a wild lady. That's besides the point.
Yeah, grandparents, man, they see a lot and they say a lot,
and
a lot of it's insane.
99 years old when she checked out.
Oh man, and you don't want to be that old.
She lost both of her sons before she died.
Damn.
Yeah. No.
I get it. I get it. Well, you live. This is not the segue I wanted to do, but you live long enough to be the hero or something. I fuck up the quote. I'll come back to it. You know what else got canceled? Not from life, but like it ain't coming back. Is apparently Halo on Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
That got canceled. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. Did you?
No, I never got into the Halo video games. I had an Xbox a few times, and I had an Xbox up until Xbox 360 with that fucking Ring of Death thing, and then after that I was like, fuck Microsoft.
Fair.
And so, but I had just never really got into the Halo games. I always thought they were kind of redundant, and like I really know what I was doing. And so, when they had a show, even though I liked the actor Pablo Schreiber from Orange Is the New Black, I was like, maybe I'll get to it if people say it's good enough. Lluvia in the chat said it's a good show, but
people have told me that it was a pretty decent show. And I liked the first two Halo games, but then after that, I was kind of done with it. But I just never got into the show. I mean, maybe I'll give it a watch at some point. I mean, I know they're trying to shop it around to Paramount is actually helping them trying to shop it around to other networks or whatever to possibly make a third season out of it. But listen, if Warrior's not going to get it, I don't think Halo should.
Always comes back to Warrior. Folks, please watch it on HBO Max or Netflix. Watch it. It's so fucking good. Another thing that's really good that's constantly getting expanded is The Boys, which just wrapped up season 4. Obviously, we have one more season of The Boys, which, folks, if you don't think that show is going to end up really bloody with most of the cast dead, then you are fooling yourselves. Just saying. But I guess the creators, Eric Kripke and everyone, they are planning for the future post The Boys, and actually have announced a prequel series called Vought Rising, which will star Jensen Ackles and Aya Cash reprising their roles from the flagship series, which includes Soldier Boy and what was the Nazi character's name?
I don't remember what her name was.
It's not Firecracker's the other crazy chick.
She's hot.
I mean, the casting of The Boys. That's a sexy ass cast, bro. Stormfront. Thank you, Lluvia. It's a really sexy cast. And you know what? We haven't talked about him a long time. We haven't. Jesse T. Usher did his thing in season 4.
Yeah.
He continues to do his thing with A Train. I mean, there's going to be a tragic end to that character for sure. Like I can't imagine the kind of death he's going to get. But
I mean, if he comes back,
he's going to come back. He's got to. I mean, he's on a run now for obvious reasons, but he's going to come back because I think he's probably part of Sister Soldier's. Not Sister. Is it Sister Soldier? Yeah. But Sister Sage. Thank you, Lluvia. Lluvia in the chat is saving us right now. Shout out to our producer. I think he's part of like her bigger plan because I think she has a plan for a plan that doesn't include Homelander. I think she's got the shit thoughts so far ahead that Homelander doesn't even know what she's about to pull off on him. And so because there's a reason why she didn't rat out A-Train. Remember, she knew that it was him the whole time. That was right, like, giving the boys secrets. So I think he's got a big role to play in the last season. Again, we both know, like, when you snitching on and you trying to play both sides, you ain't gonna make it. So it's very rare that character makes it.
I see people online was like, Homelander was much smarter in the in the first 2 seasons. I feel like they dumbed him down so much. It's just like, you thought that this character was smart.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are just now like, Eric Kripke, actually, in the Hollywood Reporter article that we read, he talked about how people this season, for some reason, it finally clicked to them, like the parallels between Homelander and Trump, which is insane to me because I felt like they were so on the nose about it. But I think to that point, like, a lot of people realize, oh, wait, like, he's not the hero. He's not smart. But they, like, to your point, like, they already were showing us how emotional he is and how much that clouds any judgment that he may have had because he's such a broken person. I mean, when he goes back to that lab.
That was wild.
Dude, that's got to be, like, the worst job ever because once he pops up, you're like, well, it seemed like they all knew they were going to die. Like, there wasn't even, like, a hesitation like, oh, like, he's just making us uncomfortable, but, like, this will be fine. They all were like, we're about to die.
Yeah.
That's crazy. shout out to the boys. I thought it was a solid fourth season. I know some people had some issues with it, but I think it's on par with what we got on before. I do think Gen V season 1 was a little bit better. And so I'm interested to see what happens with Gen V2, season 2, especially since the young man passed away. But the boys series, keep going. And Jensen Ackles, man, I never saw, and I've said this before on the podcast, I've never watched Supernatural, but people love that guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
they really.
I guess it's the voice. I don't know, but like people like Soulja Boy clips are always online. I mean, he said some wild shit though. But like people just like that actor. They really, really fuck with him. So I guess it makes sense to revolve a show around them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with it's almost like his rabid fandom.
Yep. Speaking of shows, we all know that there's going to be a Spider-Man, Spider Noir series on Amazon Prime coming out, starring Nicolas Cage's Depression-era version of the crime fighter. And then there's an official breakdown that was provided by Daniel Rickman on comicbookmovie.com that said that the breakdown is, we follow Ben Riley, a PI, as he stumbles down a rabbit hole of corruption in 1933 New York, while also establishing his past as a superhero. Riley investigates the death of Edward Addison, which leads him to discover that the mayor is up to something nefarious that involves crime boss Silvermane and femme fatale Yuri Watanabe. And we already know that Brendan Gleeson's going to be in the series, and it's also going to be produced by Loretta Miller, who did the Amazing Spider-Verse movie. So I'm down. I'm down for the show. I think it's going to be weird as fuck. I'm just down for some weird Spider-Man shit with Nicolas Cage in a suit and out the suit. And just what kind of Nicolas Cage we're going to get. Because he hasn't been a leading man in a commercial property in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it is animated, but still.
No, it's going to be live action.
Wait, I'm sorry.
This is live action, Justin.
Sorry. Wait, what?
Pay attention. We've been talking about this. It's live action.
Hold on. This entire time, I was just under the impression, in my head, I was like, oh, this is just animated. They're really making this a live action.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You just blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, dude. It's going to be fucking cuckoo bananas.
The chat, same thing.
We've been talking about this for weeks, so it's surprising that y'all just now realize it's live action.
I think it's because it's Spider-Man, it comes from the Spider-Verse and everything. I just immediately in my head is like, oh yeah, this is animated. Voicing. Wow, that's fucking.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's wild. That's going to be so wild. I'm even more excited about it now because that's going to be so crazy.
Oh yeah, it's going to be 1,000% insane. Just like the new upcoming season of Poker Face, which is a great murder mystery series on Peacock, folks. If you like that genre, definitely check it out. It's by Rian Johnson, who did the Knives Out movies. Fantastic first season, Natasha Lyonne. And great performances by Tim Meadows, Lil Rel. Like, they had some great episodes in the first season. The second season has added Giancarlo Esposito, Katie Holmes, Kamal Nanjiani, and Gabby Hoffman, who hopefully will redeem herself from that terrible Volcano performance, who have joined season 2 with Natasha Lyonne. And then also, I mean, the cast list for the first season was insane. So I'm sure there's even people that they haven't announced that are going to pop up and maybe surprise cameos or something like that in season 2. But I'm excited as hell because they can keep going with this show. It's just nonstop weird stories and mysteries and shit. It's awesome.
And just like, if you watch, I don't want to spoil the first season for anyone if you haven't watched it, but like the interconnectedness and how like the story runs within the first season, I just thought it was brilliant the way they did it. Yeah. It was brilliant the way they did it, and it's fun, but it's also like intense all at the same time. It's good
for sure. And to wrap up some of our TV news, the Emmy nominations came out with Reservation Dogs finally receiving Best Comedy nomination, Shogun, The Bear, and Abbott Elementary leading some of the top categories in drama and comedy, and series like Baby Reindeer and the 4th season of True Detective doing pretty solid in the mini-series, limited series genres. Shogun is like going to probably sweep it from what I've heard. I'm 4 episodes in, and it's great. Tati finds it boring, but I think it's great.
Starting to watch Shogun?
Yeah, I just started. I've been texting you because Anna Sawai.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize.
All I've been saying is, why haven't I known about this actress? She's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I don't think people understand. Like,
for my pleats.
I mean, I don't know if it's just the way that they dressed her and the way they made her look. I don't know. They can't. She looks like you can't take your eyes off of her. And there's very few people in Hollywood these days where I'm like, I cannot stop looking at this person.
She's very captivating.
Yeah, it's insane.
Part of it is, I think, like the Japanese garb and things like that, and the way themselves, especially that in that period. But like, she's a gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
Yep. And shout out to Hiroyuki Sanada, who's been just killing it. Been on a tear the past few years. He's great so far, but he's got competition with Idris Elba, friend of the show, for Hijack, which I was surprised he got nominated. Donald Glover, Walton Goggins on Fallout, who I've heard is fantastic on that. I gotta watch Fallout. That's on the list. Gary Oldman and Dominic West. I believe Dominic West is for The Crown. I'm not sure what Gary Oldman got nominated for. But yeah, the categories this year are pretty stacked. It's going to be interesting. And Ayo Edebiri, she got bumped up to lead actress, not supporting actress. But basically, all the actors in The Bear got nominated, except for Oliver Platt, which is kind of wild. But yeah, like I'm actually happy with some of these nominations. I'm like, there's actually good art recognized finally, especially Reservation Dogs, where the young actor got nominated for lead actor. DeFaro Woon Atai, and the show got nominated because it's a really good show. I haven't finished it, but it's a really sweet, sometimes sad show. And I'm glad I finally got some doing this last season. Also, the actor Matt Berry. Dude, do you watch What They Do in the Shadows?
No.
What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire show?
Yeah.
It's about these vampires that live like in Staten Island. It's fucking. There's this actor named Matt Berry. He got nominated for Best Actor. What?
Nothing about that synopsis makes me want to watch
it. Dude, it's fucking crazy. It's so like we should watch the movie for the podcast and see if you like it. Taika Waititi made it. It's so weird, but this guy Matt Berry, like I've only watched a few episodes, but he is fucking hilarious. He's like this British dude that's just completely insane. Like. And he's a vampire in Staten Island. It's fucking so weird. But shout out to him because he's made me laugh every episode I've watched.
Okay. All right.
But it will be added to the list. So eventually, folks, we will talk about What We Do in the Shadows. A movie we have talked about quite a bit that is finally getting some traction, apparently, which is so crazy, is Spawn.
Yeah.
Spawn creator Todd McFarlane took to social media to announce that the script for the reboot is finally complete. Whether or not it's the final draft, we'll have to see, but it's currently titled King Spawn.
Yeah, but it's a series.
Is it?
Yeah, I believe it's an animated series, isn't it?
No, it's a reboot. This is the one with Jamie Foxx.
Oh, shit. Well, because McFarlane, he also did the series.
Yeah, he did the animated series, but the movie was announced back in 2022.
Oh, damn, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's co-written by Scott Silver, who did Joker, Malcolm Spellman, who did The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and up-and-coming scribe Matthew Mixon. Apparently, Jamie Foxx is still attached to star in the lead role of Al Simmons, so we'll see if that pans out and see if he likes the script. If he drops out, though, that'll tell us maybe something about the script. Because just because it was turned in doesn't mean that people gonna fuck with it.
Yeah. Yep.
As we found out with Blade several times. Apparently, a script that does have people excited to work on it is the sequel to Nobody, because Sharon Stone has joined the Bob Odenkirk sequel from Universal A7 North to play the villain, and Christopher Lloyd has signed on to join the cast again as a supporting role because he plays Bob Odenkirk's dad, along with RZA, who plays Bob Odenkirk's brother. That was wild.
Nuts.
But yeah, Sharon Stone coming back is awesome.
Yeah.
Because I know she's had a rough go of it the past few years. I mean, between the news about her on the dating apps and her talking about the sexism and early in her career and some of the shit that she had to deal with.
Dating apps?
Yeah. There was she got kicked off a dating app because they didn't believe that it was really Sharon Stone.
Fair.
Which is
Fair.
wild. I mean, like, imagine you get on Bumble and they're like, "You're not really Sharon Stone. Get the fuck out of here."
I mean, but think about that dude who actually shows up and that it is fucking Sharon Stone.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be nuts.
she's had better days, of course. Everyone has, especially when you get older. But if I were a single man, I matched with Sharon Stone, I'm shooting my shot.
Oh,
100%.
but you imagine how many people are just going to be complete and utter creeps.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Factor is through the roof.
Yeah. Speaking to wrap up our, we talked about TV a little bit, then we talked about Spawn. To bounce back this TV-ish real quick, the proposed consolidation of Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max as a bundle has announced their pricing with $16.99 per month for ad-supported tiers, and then $29.99 per month for ad-free, which is frustrating for me because I get my Max and Disney through Hulu, but I think I pay a little bit more than this new offer. So now I'm like, well, do I get to convert to the cheaper option? It's just a completely, like, who's hosting this bundle? Like, that's where it gets annoying for customers, I think.
But here's the thing. So the bundles are through like cable subscribers. I imagine that like Verizon, you can get the bundle through them, so like Comcast, whatever, you could get a bundle through that way. I imagine they're probably also doing it through like different websites and things like that. But like, if you're a cable cutter, are you going to be eligible for these things?
Yeah, I mean, you can get this through the streamers, though. It's not just through Verizon or Comcast and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, but predominantly that's how they're going to be selling it. So it's like, is it going to be a thing of like you're going to have to hunt for these deals?
Maybe. I mean, I don't think you're going to have to. I don't think they're predominantly done through the cable companies anymore. Yeah, Lluvia saying in the chat, they're directly on their websites now. Yeah, I don't think because cable is a dying business, so it doesn't behoove them to spend marketing money on trying to get cable subscribers to go to the bundles versus
doing it a lot. They're doing a lot of it third party, and they're letting third party people kind of handle it. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know, because like I just feel like in the past when they've done when people have done these kinds of things, I feel like a lot of times people don't know, and then they get screwed over for a few months. They don't realize like, oh, I could have gotten this and this and this all together.
I guess, yeah. I mean, the user does have to educate themselves more, and like I said, I have a bundle already with Hulu that comes with Max, where I pay like extra for that, and Disney Plus, right? And so now it's like, well, how do I get this bundle, and do I get penalized in any way for the other way I did it? Like, how does this work? And so it is very frustrating. I don't even think they have a full idea of how this is supposed to work out. So it's always messy. Speaking of mess, I'm sorry.
Because or you have like Verizon, T-Mobile, or these things like that. They're like, oh, because you're a Verizon customer, we're gonna give you a Netflix account on us, but they give you the lower tier one, which basically is trash. So it's like you get the basic one. It's so this all of these just weird things are going on, which makes this whole thing very convoluted and dumb.
Yeah, I thought I heard that Netflix was dropping the ad tier, possibly. But who knows? What'd you say?
They should. It sucks.
I mean, I don't do it, but I imagine if it's anything like Amazon Prime with their commercials, yeah, it's probably annoying as hell because those commercials pop up at the most inopportune times when you're watching the show. In a segment I like to call #Black Actors, the morning show has booked William Jackson Harper for its upcoming 4th season. William Jackson Harper is best known for his role as Chidi on The Good Place, which is where I came to love him, but I also loved him on this Max season 2 show called Love Life, which is no longer available on the platform. So, yay. I wonder how I'm supposed to watch that again. But I'm glad to see this brother out here working, especially since Marvel blew its load with him by having him as some random character in Ant-Man Quantumanium versus Reed Richards. He's right there. He's shredded. He's a good-looking dude. He's already played smart, and he could do humor. Anyways, other black actors working. Maya Rudolph is officially coming back to SNL to play Kamala Harris.
Yep. Knew it was happening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone was like, her agent's definitely on the phone with SNL right now, right? And
they're just like, you coming back, right?
Yeah. And she plans on portraying the vice president, soon to be presidential nominee throughout the 2024 election. So at least until November, she'll be playing Kamala. So that'll be fun. More hashtag black actors, even though this is a little sad. Brandy, Brandy, the famous actress from The Descendants, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, was apparently recently informed that there's going to be I Know What You Did Last Summer movie reboot, which just announced some of their cast, which includes a lot of like up and coming actors, including one Camila Mendes, who I believe was on Riverdale. But yeah, Brandy basically is like, I didn't know somebody was putting that together. That's interesting.
It's like, somebody's got to reach out to me. It's like, no, they won't. But they also said that
I need them to give me a call because I survived in that movie. I came out of the end, bladed up, ready to go. I did not die in that film.
But at the same time, they also came out and says like, yeah, we're making like the second movie never happened.
No, that was debunked. That was debunked in the
debunked. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. That got debunked by one of the actresses. Yeah, like in one of the articles I shared with you, the writer clarified also and said definitely not. We're not ignoring the sequels and stuff.
Okay, so they're just ignoring Brandy.
I mean, she clearly never got. I mean, even Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. They're saying they're in negotiations. Well, Freddie Prinze Jr. said he's in active negotiations. Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's probably playing hardball or something like that because I'm sure their roles are very tertiary to the actual plot. Because if they want to reboot it, they got to start with a younger cast. They can't just bring in the older dudes. That's why like Scream 7 is interesting because it's like, well, how long do you keep investing in Neve Campbell, Sydney, if you're not continue building up a new cast to keep the story going? Otherwise, this chick can only get stabbed so many times.
And then it's also just the thing that's that like the I Know What You Did Last Summer cast, are they as beloved as the Scream cast? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Is it was as big as the people's like, oh yeah, is Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. coming back? You know what I'm saying? Especially being the fact that they're not necessarily very active these days.
Yeah, it's not the biggest draw for sure. I think it might be more nostalgia or anything, especially, let's be honest, if they pump up Jennifer Love Hewitt in the way that teenage boys liked her, they bring that back in the market, that might be something. But also, like, it's a different world now. So, it's,
I don't see her wanting to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I think she's over that time. So it'd be kind of weird. Because it's not like I want Jennifer Love Hewitt back for her acting prowess. No offense. Same for Freddie Prinze Jr. They've never been like, oh man, this movie could have used some more of. Like
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Unfortunately for actor Manny Jacinto, who actually is having a great moment right now, also alum from the Good Place series, who's fantastic on that, and just having a moment with the Acolyte, becoming kind of a sex symbol to a lot of Star Wars fans. But he actually talked about how he got cut from Top Gun Maverick. He was part of the squad, but none of his lines made it into the final cut.
Yeah,
which has to be a bit rough, you're part of this crew and you're part of this big this movie, and you see your co-star Glenn Powell blow up, and you're just kind of like, oh damn. Well, I mean, I got a check, but goddamn, it's got to be kind of rough.
But you know what? I like the way that he kind of handled it. It's just like, because he gave a kind of honest representation of what the business is. It's like, listen, Tom Cruise is making movies for Tom Cruise. It's like, I didn't expect. He's like, also, I kind of saw it coming. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but it also makes this is a good example of you have to make things for yourself.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? is gonna, further along your skills and better, your career. So it's like, there's a learning lesson in there, and I thought he handled it with much grace.
For sure. Yeah, and he's got a lot ahead of him. He's a talented actor. Like I said, he just kind of like bumped up the sex symbol status with some of the stuff that has been shown from the Acolyte. So, he's going to be okay. A weird piece of news that just got released earlier today is that Britney Spears is getting a biopic at Universal with director John M. Chu set to direct. It's going to be based on the 2023 best-selling book, The Woman in Me. This is odd because Britney Spears is still with us, and she's not that old. Like, I don't know. It's always weird to me when there's biopics of the person that's still alive.
I don't like Ray. I didn't think that was weird.
Didn't he die right before that movie came out though?
Yeah, but the movie was already in production. Like, like,
but he was like in the 70s. I mean, he lived a life.
And that's what I was about to say. It's like, because he had such a long career and all, it's like, okay, we're making a Ray movie, and if you still have, all right, I think that one of the reasons that Jamie Foxx was able to deliver such a strong performance in that is because he got to actually meet Ray Charles. And to actually speak to him and learn things from him, and then like Ray Charles also giving his blessing on what this script was and everything. I think it's a plus. Now on the other end with Britney Spears, because of all of the things that have gone on with Britney Spears in the last number of years and things like that, this feels a little I don't know about it.
Yeah, I mean, John M. Chu, he definitely has made entertaining movies in the past. Like In the Heights, he has Wicked coming out soon, Crazy Rich Asians. But I feel like not on the level of like a Ray or, the upcoming Michael Jackson biopic, but she's had some really dark moments in her life. And a lot of them are chronicled in The Woman in Me. And so this can't just be a happy, hunky-dory, colorful biopic. This going to have to be real. And I just don't know if John M. Chu's the right director for that kind of nuance. But I could be wrong. Maybe this is something where he's like, I can finally do something different. We'll have to wait and see.
I guess for me, it comes off as a little exploitive. Mm. But at the same time, maybe she's, she needs the money, and, you sell those rights out there, and, she get herself, make sure she's eating. So I don't know, but like,
yeah, she got to pay Kevin Federline child support still, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You want a piece of me? He's like, yes, please. Lluvia in the chat saying or positing, or telling her side of the story from her on her terms. Yes, but the issue with that is when artists are directly involved with their biopics or a biopic that involves their likeness, that's when you start seeing some things getting, specifically catered to make them look good. As much as I love Straight Outta Compton, we all know that Eazy-E and Dr. Dre did not have a goodbye moment. They were not on good terms when Eazy-E died. Notorious. Diddy was had a heavy hand involved in that production stuff. Clearly, didn't make him seem as exploitative of Biggie as he probably was. Based on what his Mrs. Wallace's count, as well as other people that have said stuff about how Diddy does bad boy business and things like that. So it's always kind of murky when the artist is directly involved in their biopic, but you also do need their rights so you can get the music.
And then also on the other end is like, because Britney Spears has had, a lot of, problems recently, especially, whether it be substance mental issues or whatever, it kind of does for me, at least. It's just like, oh, you guys are just really just trying to milk her for whatever she's got. Because also you gotta understand, what is the deal that they have for this film? You know what I'm saying? And, you would hope that her people took care of her in this, but it could also be a very exploitive deal that they gave her, to make, for the rights to this.
Yep. You never know, folks. But we'll wait and see how this comes together. I mean, it's all going to be in the casting, so we'll see who they're able to get the cast, and we'll see if it actually comes to fruition. Because the Madonna biopic, they casted Julie Garner as Madonna about a year ago now, and that's on pause for various reasons. So we'll have to wait and see. But a movie that's not on pause is Superman, which just recently wrapped up its filming, according to James Gunn. The movie is set to hit theaters next summer. We've talked about this movie before.
Ohio, it still has a few more weeks going.
No, James. So this article came out after, before James Gunn recently posted on Instagram that actually they finished wrapping and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see how it looks. I think that people need to temper their expectations. I think as long as it's a good movie, I think that will kick off the new DCU in a good place. I'm not expecting it to light the world on fire box office wise, but as long as it's a decent movie, I think that will hopefully get them a good footing to keep expanding. But we'll wait and see. I have faith that James Gunn, had a really good story to tell and stuff. And kind of that wraps it. Movie news. As we, can wrap things up by talking about the final piece of news, which is Robert Downey Jr. is returning as Victor Von Doom, or at least Dr. Doom, in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, which is also going to be directed by the returning Russo brothers. I've seen a lot of mixed reaction online about it. I don't really care. I think it could work really well, but I could also see it being disastrous. But clearly they think they have enough juice there to pay the Russo brothers a shitload of money, and Robert Downey Jr. reportedly almost $100 million to come back for these two movies, which I've seen a lot of actors and creatives in Hollywood just really upset about that number. It hasn't been verified for obvious reasons, but that is a lot of money to get to one person. But at the same time, people go out to movies to see Robert Downey Jr. in these MCU movies for whatever reason. They pay for it. And if this is going to legit be the end of the MCU as we currently know it, you start with the biggest hero and you end with the biggest villain. And if he plays both, I think that's pretty interesting. I think it's pretty interesting.
No, I've heard these rumors for a while. I didn't know which way it was going to go. I didn't expect them to actually cast Robert Downey Jr. For it. I was just like, yeah, that's interesting. I don't see it happening, but I think it is definitely interesting. I just wonder, is he going to be an Iron Man variant who goes bad and turns into Doom, or is he going to be Victor Von Doom, or is he a variant of Victor Von Doom who just, a Victor Von Doom just happens to look like, Iron Man or Tony Stark from another universe. You know what I'm saying? So I think it could work, and they're going to have to, obviously they're going to explain it away, and, but I do think that if they go in the sense of just it's not Tony Stark. This is Victor Von Doom, and he comes to the 616 universe, and he's playing on the fact that, all these people know this face as Iron Man, and he uses that. I think that could be extremely interesting, just the way he can actually pull at the strings on people and manipulate people in a completely different way, using the death of Tony Stark to then, formulate a plan that's just going to cause massive destruction.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of speculation as to how it's going to work. Like I said, I'm just reserving judgment. I think it's interesting to bring him back, but I also wonder, is the reason because they're backed into a corner and they're just going to the people who they know are kind of sure things, or that they actually have a really creative way to tell a story? Now, given how they handled Gambit, Blade, the past Spider-Man iterations, I think there is something there. But at the same time, that's a lot of characters to juggle and make it make sense and make sure that it has the powerful impact, since we haven't really been building up to Doom. But at the same time, we saw Thanos in sprinkles too. So they do have a few movies between now and Doomsday to kind of start showing this different iteration of Tony Stark, or if it is Victor Von Doom introducing that character, so we're familiar by the time we get to Doomsday. Because remember, Infinity War was all kind of about, it was a Thanos movie, basically. It's like him going and getting the stones from different people, and we just happen to be encountering characters we've seen before, but it really is about Thanos getting what he wants, which is the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
And stuff. I just hope they bring back Shannon Tatum as Gambit.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I love it. Someone who doesn't quite love it, though, is Jonathan Majors, who recently said that he's heartbroken over the news, of course. He said, I love Robert Downey Jr., I love King. Dr. Doom is wicked, though. A lot of people are talking about the controversy behind Jonathan Majors obviously getting dropped and replaced by Robert Downey Jr., who has his own story, history with substance abuse and crime and things like that. I think there is, though, a big difference between domestic abuse and being a drug addict and stuff. Although I think he did pull out a gun on one of his girlfriends. It might have been Sarah Jessica Parker. He had it. There's an incident with Robert Downey Jr. and a gun. So I will put that out there, folks. Call in at speakpipe.com/media popcorn. Let us know if you found that story on Robert Downey Jr. so that you say it and I don't, so I can't get sued for libel. All right. we did watch some trailers, the first of which was Beetlejuice, which is the newest trailer for the sequel that's coming out next month as of this recording. To be honest with you, Justin, I felt like it could have easily been a trailer for Wednesday season 2 at some point. But I am interested to see Michael Keaton back in this world. It does feel very Tim Burton-y. I would say that it feels more Tim Burton-y than a lot of his recent movies have.
It very much so.
Yeah, the aesthetic and stuff like that. It definitely feels more back at home with his creative world and the quirkiness and the way the colors and stuff like that balance each other out and stuff like that. And the cast is back for the most part. So I don't know. I'm gonna go see it. Tati, Beetlejuice is one of her favorite movies. I fuck with the character. And I think with Jennifer Ortega, it's gonna be a huge hit. I just don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this movie, because if it's a huge hit, let's say it brings in a new generation of fans because of Jenna Ortega, that's going to be really interesting to see what that does.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if if young people see Beetlejuice, right? Maybe they saw the first one or they haven't. They get really into it and then they go down a Tim Burton rabbit hole, and then you start seeing Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse popping up in old Tim Burton movies. Wouldn't that be really wild?
Yeah.
Young people rediscovering that, but you never know.
I mean, but you know what? It's good though, because they'll see some of the weird shit that we grew up with.
True.
But there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like they're gonna go back and start catching Tim Burton movies and start seeing some real fucking crazy, despicable shit. So it's okay.
By the way, as of this recording, live on Twitter, Ryan Reynolds and Chris Hemsworth just tweeted back at each other that they know why Thor was crying, and they're going to keep the secret together. So clearly there's some plans for something in Secret Wars or some shit with Deadpool, which is going to be hilarious.
And just to go back to this, Robert Downey Jr., he was arrested for possession of cocaine, heroin, and a concealed weapon when he was stopped speeding by the deputies in Malibu, California. And this is June 24th, 1996. So he didn't pull a gun on, whoever. He was stopped and he had a gun, concealed weapon on him.
Okay. Got it. Oh, it might have been Kiefer Sutherland. Someone pulled a gun on someone really famous.
Okay.
But folks, again, call on speakpipe.com/media popcorn. Let us know who you think pulled a gun on who, so I don't get sued for libel. Okay. All right. Alien Romulus is another. These are all sequels, basically. The trailers that we watched. That's what's all coming out of Hollywood. Alien Romulus, the final trailer for not even a remake or reboot. It's just a continuation of this world, I guess, where we get more insight into these it seems like these space pirates kind of. Who are looking, at this abandoned ship, and of course shit goes wrong. It's giving me everything I want in an Alien movie. It's giving me creepy vibes, The only thing is that this is way more graphic with like those face huggers and what they actually do to basically putting a dick in your mouth and impregnate you. It's fucking graphic. That's what they did in the trailer.
I mean, essentially, yes.
People were choking on them. I didn't like it. I did not like it. And then they start bursting through your chest. That's going to be a bad day for you.
Ooh. Ooh.
But yeah, I fuck with this movie. I fuck with like how it looks. It seems very like they use practical effects and things like that. And it's just been a while since I've seen a really good alien movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, when was the last one? Was that the one with oh my god, the dude with the
Alien
nose?
Convent? Alien Convent was the last one.
Yeah, you're right.
And then before that was Prometheus.
Yeah.
And then you had the Alien vs. Predator movies. It's been messy. So to go back to basics, I'm kind of fucking with that.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks dope. It really kind of kind of gives you kind of the ode of the original Alien film, but just from just the trailer and everything that we've seen so far, it's giving those same kind of vibes. Which the first Alien film was fucking. I thought the shit was scary as shit. I was a kid. I was terrified of it.
And what I also like about the aesthetic, what I like about these movies is that like it's like obviously in the future with the technology and everything, but it feels very old.
Yes.
And vintage. It's really interesting how they do that. So looking forward to seeing this movie. I already got invited to a screening, so looking forward to checking that out.
Thanks. Right.
You don't know the people at Disney like I do. I send them coupons.
Mm-hmm.
Lluvia in the chat saying Sigourney Weaver cameo. Fingers crossed. If there is, she's gonna be de-aged because they said that this movie technically takes place between 1 and 2. Because remember in Aliens, she wakes up like 20 something years later. Remember, because they're all in hypersleep or whatever the fuck. So
yeah,
it's possible maybe you could pass by like if she's sleeping in a pod or something like that. I don't know, but. Or she like leaves a message like, the stress signal from the first movie. That could be interesting. That could be a way you do it. Do a voice cameo. We also watched the Joker 2 trailer, the newest one, which features a little bit more of the fucking crazy relationship between Harley Quinn and Arthur. I don't know. I was mixed on the first Joker, but this definitely looks like it's definitely going to be bigger in scale. It's also going to be a musical, which is interesting. I think she might be fucking crazier than him, though, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know.
It could go either way. Exactly. It looks great. Like cinematography wise, it looks fantastic. Between the last trailer with the the lipstick on the glass and like this just the aesthetic of it looks really cool and unique. My only issue, and I've heard this said on a few other movie podcasts, is that we don't know what's real in this story after seeing the first movie because Arthur's an unreliable narrator. And also we follow Harley Quinn. She could also be an unreliable narrator. So there's going to be probably a lot in the movie that we don't know whether or not it's real. And I don't know if that's going to be an enjoyable movie-going experience. Or maybe that's the point, so then it requires people to see the movie multiple times. We'll have to wait and see. Because I can also see them doing some fuckery where they're like, half of Arthur's story is true, half of Harley Quinn's story is true. Which do you think is actually the stuff that happened in the movie? Which would be nuts.
Yeah, but doesn't that get a little bit, too convoluted and
it does, but maybe they don't give a fuck. They made $1 billion in the last movie when they made for like less than 100 million. So they might just be like, even if we bomb, we tried something. We told them they weren't even going to get a sequel to Joker.
Fuck it.
Yeah. I could see Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix doing it. It'd be like, if we're going to go big, go big or go home. You know what I mean? And then the Penguin, which is a continuation of another Batman Elseworld that DC's doing. This show looks really fucking good, man. It's a crime drama with the Penguin. It's awesome.
I just wonder is like, so where does this fall?
This is right after the first one. Like this takes place, from what I've read, it takes place right after the Riddler's flooded Gotham. You know, because we have that shot of him going back to the club that's been fucked up and shit like that. Gotham seems to be in tatters, and I think it's basically, you know, it's the power grab immediately after. And it probably takes place over a few months or maybe a year or something like that, but that's what it seems like. You know, it's all going to be focused on who, now that homie died from the first movie, who owns what territory and like all that stuff.
Is it Falcone? No, it's not Falcone. Oh fuck, Italian gangster guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Colin Farrell, man, he looks crazy on all that makeup. It's insane, dude.
I wonder how long he's gonna go with this. You know what I'm saying? And is this character then gonna be more of a prominent character within the, you know, the next Batman films and things like that? Because it seems like they're building him up. He at the very least, I imagine that he'll make some sort of cameo in the next film coming out. But it's just interesting that they're doing what they're doing right now.
Yeah. And just to clarify, so John Turturro did play Falcone. His daughter, Sophia Falcone, she's going to be in the movie, in the series, coming from Arkham Asylum, which is going to be fucking nuts. And then the other mafia family is the Maroni family, who was played by Eric Roberts in like The Dark Knight and stuff like that. Yuvi's asking in the chat, is this part of the James Gunn universe? No, this is still separate. This is part of what Matt Reeves is doing with the Elseworlds, like with the Batman, the Penguin. And I think he's planning maybe another series. I know the Arkham Asylum one, the Gotham PD one, those got scrapped. But I do think that they maybe are building up Justin Penguin to be the final villain in all of this, maybe. Or he's going to be around at least for Batman 2.
Gotcha.
I would say. I still think that they're leading up to either Quarter of Owls or Hush, for sure. I definitely think Hush is going to be a villain, but I also can see them adding Court of Owls. Maybe not in the second one, but by the third one, I think because it's all about corruption in Gotham.
Yeah.
And Court of Owls is the biggest symbolism of that. And then Hush is the one that literally is like, everyone's corrupt, including the Waynes. So it all makes sense to include those villains, but you never know.
I mean, it would make sense for them to kind of connect it that way, but you know, like you said, you really don't know because there's just, it's a tough call because I mean, well, they can really just go anywhere with.
Yep. But I mean, if anyone's read the Hush comics, what they did with the first Batman with the Riddler, you could say that the Riddler was put on that path by Hush, because Hush, I think, he wasn't born in an orphanage, but he was very much, was he? I think he was. Yeah, but there's ways that he's involved, like the mastermind behind everything and shit like that. But we'll have to wait and see. I think the Penguin series looks good. It's only going to be 8 episodes, so hopefully it works out. And it's going to be coming on September 19th, so we're less than a month and a half away.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep. So, folks, that's our movie news and trailer reactions. Hope you all enjoyed our take on these things. If you have your own take, please share them with us at speakpipe.com/mediumpopcorn, or you can join the Patreon family at patreon.com/mediumpopcorn. Post in the comments. Let us know what you thought of this episode, what movie news strikes you, what movie trailers interest you, all that good stuff. And you also just get to talk to Justin and I. We're in the chats. We communicate. We post bonus content and all that good stuff. So patreon.com/mediumpopcorn. And on the personal side, you can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on Threads and Instagram. That's where I'll be popping most of the days. I don't try to do that Twitter thing. It's wild over there. So Instagram's where I'm at.
We will never call it X.
I refuse. It's fucking crazy. Justin, how can people follow you, bro?
Guys, you can follow me at JBrownDid on all the socials. I'm there.
That's right. And don't forget, patreon.com/mediumpopcorn. But if money's tight, leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast application. We will read on the show, including Spotify. If you leave a comment on Spotify, we'll read that on the show. And also leave us leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/mediumpopcorn. It's been a while since we got one, so it'd be great. Yeah. All right, y'all. Just remember, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
You had to look that quote up.
I did.
You couldn't remember that.
My mind ain't what it used to be, Justin.
Brandon has Alzheimer's. Bye.
popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.